Welcome, my future successful nursery owners. Finding a building for your nursery is one of the most time-consuming and challenging things you can do when setting up your nursery. It's one of the main areas that people ask me to support with. Whether that be what to look for or where to look, I get asked hundreds of different questions around the topic of finding a building. But there's a few common mistakes and things that people forget to do when looking for their building, and I want to make sure that you don't do the same things. So in this video, I want to go over 4 of the main things that you should be doing when trying to find your nursery building. But if this is the first video you've seen of myself, hi! This channel was set up to help people like yourself to not only open their own nursery, but to grow and run any type of childcare business. If you're serious about opening a nursery, but you need support in it, then make sure you enroll on the course Open a Nursery in just 6 months without a massive budget. It is the most comprehensive and complete package available supporting you to open your own nursery. It's currently discounted too, but unfortunately due to the sheer number of people enrolled on the course, this discount will have to go up soon. This is just so I can support you better when you enroll. So if you want a step-by-step guide to opening your own nursery, which includes a whole section about finding your own building, and you want it at a discounted price, then make sure you click the link in the description to enroll. But back to what we're here for. 4 key things that you should be doing when looking for your building. So let's start at the beginning when you first start looking for your building. And the first key thing is to set notifications for nursery buildings in your area. Nursery buildings are super competitive, especially since they've changed the use class to E class. They're even more competitive for those of you who are just starting out opening your own nursery, as you have to compete with so many different entities, from other first-time buyers or renters, to those nurseries who are just looking to expand, to other chain nurseries. Many of these people may be in a better position to buy or to rent than you are, which immediately puts you at a disadvantage. All this competition leads to nursery buildings going very quickly. Some buildings, if they are really good, are literally on websites for less than a day before they're gone, and that's if they even reach the website in the first place. I myself, like some of the chain nurseries, have connected with many different estate agents who then give access to properties before they even go live, which means many of the properties that even go on the website are ones deemed not as good by the bigger players in the field. But how can you, as a prospective nursery owner, level up this advantage that others have? Well, as mentioned, one of the first things you should be doing is setting notifications on websites. Start on places like Zoopla and Rightmove and set notifications for whenever a building goes live on these websites. But don't stop there. Look at the people that are actually listing these buildings. These will usually be estate agents or potentially auction sites. Find out who they are and contact them, even if the property is no longer available. Use this to start building relationships with agents in your area. Let them know your dreams and really show them your passion for childcare and starting your new business. Be constantly on at them, relatively. You don't really want to annoy them, but contacting them regularly to remind them that you're serious is always a good thing. This process is so important, because when the agent gets a property that matches your requirements, you will be one of the first people that they call. If you've really built a relationship with them and they really understand your vision, they may even call you over calling some of the chains. This will enable you to get access to some properties before they even go live, cutting out a majority of the competition. This puts you in such a strong position, as it gives you early access to some of the best properties, giving you a strong negotiating power. As well as estate agents, you should also be contacting your local council so that they notify you whenever a building becomes available, as they sometimes also have access to properties prior to going live. But moving on to the second key thing that you should be doing once you've started visiting buildings is to measure your building. Now, this isn't just a reminder for you, it's also a reminder for myself. So many times I've gone to a building and I forgot my measuring tape, and I'm just standing in the middle of the room having to guess how many children this room could potentially hold, which means when I go to work out my figures afterwards, I then have to guess how much I could potentially earn. Don't do this. Make sure whenever you view your nursery building to bring your measuring tape so that you can accurately work out how many children each room can hold. This is so important, as it's not always reliable to rely on the measurements that are given by the estate agent or the landlord. When measuring, remember your floor ratios too. which is you can have 1 under 2 for every 3.5 meters squared, 1 2 to 3 for every 2.5 meters squared, and 1 3 to 5 for every 2.3 meters squared. So if you measure a room and it's 10 meters long and 5 meters wide, this would mean your room is 50 square meters. So if this was going to be your baby room, you could have roughly 14 to 15 under 2s. If it was going to be a toddler room, you could have 20 2-year-olds. And if it was going to be a preschool room, you could have roughly 21 or 22 3 to 5-year-olds. These measurements are all available in the EYFS strategy framework, which if you're opening a nursery, you should all be looking at. Though it's important to remember, you can only include areas that children have access to and are going to be playing in. So you wouldn't include your hallways, your kitchens, your offices or staff rooms in your measurements. Also, unfortunately, doesn't include your outdoor area, unless obviously you are an outdoor nursery. But moving on to the third thing you should be doing when finding your building is to negotiate. So many people are scared to do this, but if you've got yourself in a position to be one of the first people to view the property by using the first tip, then you've put yourself in a very strong position in order to get the property. Make sure you use it. The price listed on the advertisement is not the price that you have to pay. Landlords want their property occupied as soon as possible so that they can start earning money. So if you can offer that, then you're at an advantage. Think about it from a landlord's perspective. It would make more sense to accept a £900 a month offer on a property if it gets rented straight away and there's a strong tenant, over waiting possibly another month for an offer of £1,000 per month with a tenant which is potentially less secure and less trustworthy. Just waiting that month alone will cost that landlord £900. So many landlords wouldn't really want to take that risk when they've got an offer on the table. This is why it's important to showcase yourself to the agent and to the landlord that you are reliable. This helps put you in a strong position to negotiate. Letting them know your business acumen, that you're going to make this business a success, having people behind you that can support you, letting them know all your positives, like how many years you've worked in childcare, any business experience that you've had, and things like that are all a benefit. Even if you can't showcase yourself as a strong tenant, just by asking the landlord or the agent how much they are willing to accept or how much a landlord might be willing to reduce it by can help you save a lot of money. Just don't be afraid to ask. As you probably gathered, one key aspect of helping you to negotiate is by building a strong relationship with the agent. They can then portray you to the landlord as a really strong candidate. You can go one step further by actually finding out who the landlord is too, and by trying to build a relationship with them as well. Most landlords will be looking for a tenant that they can trust, which holds greater importance over than just how much they can get from them. The final thing you should be doing when looking for your building is to ask for a rent abatement period. I've spoken about this before and I'll go into this in more detail on the course Open Nursery in just 6 months without a massive budget. But to put simply, a rent abatement period is a rent-free period that you negotiate at the beginning of your rental contract. This is usually to undertake things like building work, though more specifically for nurseries, it can be used for when you are waiting for Ofsted to register you. This can be challenging to ask, but if you want tips on how you can increase your chances of your landlord agreeing to the rent abatement period and the rent-free period, then make sure you click the link in the description to enroll on the course. This tip alone has literally helped some of the people enrolled on the course to save thousands of pounds, and it can help you to save too. But those are the 4 must-do things that you should remember when looking for your building. They are to set notifications, remember to measure your building, negotiate, and ask for a rent abatement period. Doing these 4 things will help you to find your perfect building much sooner than you expect. For those of you who would like some support opening your own nursery and are thinking about enrolling on the course, but simply just want a little bit more information, the course is the most complete guide available supporting you to open your own nursery. The course has taken people from nursery worker or practitioner with very little knowledge of how to open a nursery, and some people that haven't even worked in childcare, and taught them the key steps involved in opening their own nursery, which include how to register with Ofsted and pass your registration visit, how to secure funding if it's needed, how to find a building, and even just how to find and pay staff, and how to market to children. And now they own their own nursery. It's such a beautiful and rewarding feeling for myself, and for them it's a dream come true. So if you want to achieve that dream too, then make sure you click the link in the description to enroll. I look forward to supporting you. God bless.